A presentation on support raising. So,
cool. So I'm Rachel. I've been with TCAL for like 6 or 7 years. And I've been to White Dog, I think about 4, maybe 5 times. Unfortunately, this year I won't be able to go, but to show my appreciation of the mission that we're doing, to show my support, I'm here to encourage you guys. I'm here to share what I've experienced, and especially with support raising, because it's not easy to raise $500, $550 by yourself, and it's not easy to ask for that kind of money from other people. So today's topic is going to be kind of walking you guys through and how to sort of get uncomfortable, to raise awareness about what we're doing, and to encourage one another, and for me to encourage you guys. So yeah, okay, cool.
yeah, and we're gonna be doing this on a corporate level. So we're gonna be having like a bunch of fundraisers for raising money for the entire mission team. Today's specific one is for your individual ticket to going to White Dog. So we're going to have many fundraisers, but today is about how can you raise that money, how can you raise that awareness with your own friends, right? The first question I want to go through is what is support raising? What is support raising? And it's pretty simple. There's two things basically. It's gathering financial funds and prayer support for your mission, right? That is to say, it is not begging. You're not begging your friends for money. And I think as Asians, like mostly Asian people, have a real trouble with this. Real trouble with this, because you feel like, oh, I'm begging for my money right now. I'm begging people to give me free money. That's not what support raising is. Support raising is much more than that, as we're gonna get to know. And an important thing is, as uncomfortable as it may be, maybe after this entire thing, you're still going to think in your brain, oh, this is still begging. Maybe, but it's important to try to go to uncomfortable places, to push yourself through that discomfort, to do things that you need to do in order to go on mission, because that's part of mission. Training is doing uncomfortable things. So please get ready to be uncomfortable.
So as Josh mentioned, support raising isn't begging for money, but it's a lot of raising awareness. So what's the point? Why are we support raising? It shows, like I said, it raises awareness. You're encouraging, or you're telling people of what you're doing. You're telling people of the current situation of Native people. You're telling people about your spiritual journey with your spiritual life and your walk with God. So it raises a lot of awareness about so many different things. And it also shows humility. It shows that you can't do this by yourself. It's not something that you do for pride. It's not something like, oh, this is what I did and I can go do it. But it's more of, I can't do it by myself. God will provide. You can help provide for me as well. So it really breaks down those barriers, and it shows, and it really encourages your spiritual walk with God as well. And you also get to clarify and like meditate and really reflect on why you're going. Why are you doing this mission? As we talk about it a little bit later, when you do these support letters, it makes you really consider, why are you doing this? What has God called you to do in order for you to go? So it really allows you to give that time to reflect and meditate on why you're going, and gives you that chance to have a conversation with God as to why you're going and why He's sending you. So it's really great. And it also demonstrates passion, because you might think, oh, I have to go because it's a church thing. It's because it's my Christian duty to go. But as you go through these trainings, especially for the people that have gone before, you know, the more you talk about it, the more passionate that you get, the more fired up you get about it. For people that are going for the first time, it's so uncomfortable. It's so nerve-wracking. You don't know what you're getting yourself into. But as you share that passion, as you share that energy with one another, it's incredible, and you just get revitalized, you get strengthened to go, and it really encourages you to talk to others about what it is that you're doing. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So how do you do it though? How do you support raise? How do you support raise? And the first way that we're going to talk about is the letter. okay? Support letters. It's all about that personal touch. Making a letter and giving a letter, okay? It's as simple as that. As simple as that. That's number one. Social media, reaching people that you can't personally see through Facebook, through Instagram, through different kind of things like that. You can also do events, like you can make your own personal event to support yourself. That's a little bit more tricky. We're not going to talk about that today. We're going to talk about these two first things, and it's going to, I hope after we're finished, you're clear on the steps that you need to take in order to support yourself spiritually through prayer and also financially, okay? Oh, it's still me. Okay. Oh yeah. So support letters, right? This is the primary way that we do it. And it's really classy. You guys are laughing about it, but it really is classy. It's all about that personal touch. It's all about the personal touch. I know people who have literally raised around $30,000 doing this, who have raised $30,000 is a little bit. I know people who've raised $60,000. $60,000. I'm not, that's not a hyperbole. They have raised $60,000 using this method. It is possible. It is possible. And so, if it's so effective, why not pass it on to you guys? $550, that's like nothing. You can definitely do it.
All right. So, where we at? Okay. So, you might think like support letter, that's pretty old school, like say, thinking it's a formal letter, but what it does is that it really personalizes it, as Josh said. It speaks about your experience, it speaks about why you're going, and it's a very cookie cutter format, but it's a cookie cutter for a reason. It's still very effective and you still get great cookies out of it. So yeah, everything that you write in your letter, it's personal. It's personal. It shows as to why you're going. It talks about what it is that you're doing and how the person receiving that letter can support, whether it's financially or spiritually, that they can support. And what it does is it gets you out of your comfort zone. It gets you to think about it, and it also helps you to reach out to people that you are close with. It encourages you to reach out to those that know you best, and it gives that like sort of summarized testimony of why you're going and what you've experienced. And you can like mail it out, email it out, or even Facebook. Like you can do Facebook updates as well to sort of give that little breakdown of why I'm doing this, what am I doing, what can you do to support, and it's really great. And it's being personal, that's very important. It's, even though we give you like a structure of like this is what should be included, it's also talking about your previous experience. And if it's your first time going, be honest, be like, hey, it's my first time going, I'm really nervous, please pray for me. And it's really reaching out, and again, it's all about humility. So, how do you write it? The most personalized and the most important thing is to start from scratch. Just include some important details about the mission that we're doing, but make it very, start from scratch.
If you look on your handouts, we've given you the necessary components of a support letter. If you write the support letter based off of those checklists, then you'll be in good shape. Just write a letter. I've done this, I have this. If you have all those components, your support letter is finished. And you can follow the optional things if you want to in order to like upgrade that experience. But everything for like scratch making your support letter is there for you, okay? There's another format, and you can turn to the next page if you want to see that other format, and it's a template. So the one that Rachel was talking about, from scratch, you can write all of it in your bad grammar, in your like wonky writing. That's actually great. When people see your wonky writing, they're like, yo, this is definitely David. Like, David wrote this. There is nothing, I'm joking. David has great grammar. David, you have great grammar. I'm joking. I just like, David's my youth, and that's why I pick on David. But Yeah, actually, probably JJ. Right, JJ. Yo, dude, I need this much. Reach. Like if you do that, it's fine. That's really great. But if you're kind of if you're one of those people that like have no clue where to start, like essay writing is your worst nightmare. English is like you're gonna skip it. You have a template that I will personally send to you, or you can just read the one that I've given you. There is like the more professional one. That's like the two-sided one, and there's the one that's kind of like a little older. But that template is organized, and I wrote it, so I know it's good grammar. You can edit it. You can edit and give it your personal flair. You can take out some words that are like, I would never use that word. And then you can switch it around. That's completely fine. Another thing, you can change the photos for your photos. Please don't have Eugen's face plastered on your support letter, okay? I did that. I was cheating a little bit. You don't need to do that, especially if you have photos of other people, of yourself going to mission, right? So add your own personal flair to it, okay? I'm going to give you guys one great tool to use. This is the tool that I used in order to write that support letter, the more professional looking one, called canva.com. Okay, that's a completely free tool to use. Go on the website, just sign up, and then they have thousands of templates that you can use. Super, super simple, okay? There are other websites like this as well. So just go online, find a tool, use it, and we're good to go.
So there are 4 stages of using support letters. It's one, we talked about writing it, make it personal, make it about you, and make it in a way that is accessible and approachable to other people. Second step is to package them nicely. Even if it is your wonky handwriting or whatever it is, make it look personal. Make it your own, and still own up to it. Be like, yeah, I did write that. I did handwrite that. I did print it. I did draw on it. Whatever it may be, make it personal. And personally signed to make it even more official and make it show off that you are being serious about what you're doing. Third step is to contact and hand deliver to the person. It's easy to throw flyers around or whatever it may be, but if you say, hey, like, thank you for taking the time to listen, this is the actual information, a more detailed breakdown of what it is that I'm doing. If you have time to look it over, that'd be great. I'd really appreciate that. And also just make sure you follow up with the person that you're giving it to. Instead of just throwing it around and sort of forgetting about it, follow up and be like, hey, so did you get a chance to look at it? Have you given any thought? Is there any way that you can support me? Do you support me going? And like, let's chat about what we're doing, what it is that we're doing, and just make sure that they understand. And if they do have any questions, that they can reach out to you, and that it may grow your passion for this mission as well. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There is a secondary method, but it's supplemental. Okay, it's supplemental. It's not. Yeah, it's not. You can't. This is a very ineffective way if you use it on your own. Okay, so use it with your support letter to have effect. And the best example of it is actually Rachel. Rachel has done this to great effect. So, please.
So, the most easiest way nowadays is just Facebook update. Yeah, cool. The most easiest way to reach out to friends, and the fastest way, in my opinion, is Facebook. Just reaching out, be like, friends, this is what I'm doing, this is my church, and this is the mission that we're going, and giving a brief testimony on Facebook. Sometimes it's not the best. What I did was, I updated my Facebook one day, and then I had a couple friends reach out, be like, hey, like, I'm interested, what's that about? And then we met up, we chatted over coffee and all that stuff. But again, like, it all comes down to having to meet those people face to face to talk about what it is that you're doing. And so, like, that's why Facebook is a good way to initiate those conversations. It's a good way to start having those conversations, and you'd be surprised at the types of people that actually reach out to you, because you might think it's like your best friend from the longest time, from like your elementary school, that might reach out to you. It could be coworkers that you didn't realize were Christian, and they'll reach out to you, be like, hey, like, I support what you're doing, and they'll start encouraging you, and you start building these friendships, and you start building these relationships that you didn't know was possible. So it's a good way to start conversations. It's not a good way to rely on getting the word out, getting the message across of what this mission is and what you're doing. But it all comes down to that personal touch of meeting face to face, and it works best that way. And an incredible thing about Facebook is that it can reach your friends from across the world. There was one year Josh wasn't here, but I updated my Facebook with a GoFundMe page, and Josh reached out to me and was like, "Hey, like I support you," and I was like, "Okay, cool, that's awesome." And then that spread into different ways. Like Josh's friend from Korea started donating to me, and I was like, I don't know who this person is, but that's amazing. That's amazing. And yeah, it's people that you haven't seen in a long time, or people that you don't know, or that you've kind of forgotten about or lost touch. They'll be the ones to reach out to you, and it's really great.
He was in China, by the way. He wasn't in Korea. Yeah, so Rachel got donation from both Korea and China. So if you're going to use social media, use every outlet that you have, okay? Use Facebook, make a status update, okay? And don't just like update it with like a single thing, you know, make the status update really, really big. Have your picture on it, write a testimony, do something like that. If you're gonna use other things, like I'm an old person, so I use Facebook a lot, but like I know kids who don't have, like I had to tell kids to get Facebook because they only use Instagram. If you only use Instagram, you can tell a story through your like pictures, right? And yeah. Is it? There's stuff like that, right? There's stuff like that. I don't know anything about Instagram. I am.
I gotta add on to that. But okay, you guys know what hashtags are. Like you understand the purpose of hashtags, right? So use that hashtag to start conversations. Use that hashtag as a group to start conversations. And like something you hashtag can be seen by like Chris's friend or whatever it may be. So have a hashtag that works and make it stick and show that it's something that you're passionate about, and it starts conversations that way.
Right. And if you don't use Instagram, if you have Kakao, like Kakao Story or whatever like that, you use Kakao, or I don't know, you just even use Snapchat. If you're gonna use social media, use every platform that you're on. It all works out, okay? There is one specific way that that Rachel did it though, that she can explain. It's GoFundMe, right?
Okay, so brief testimony about why I used GoFundMe was that there was a year that everything worked out that I can go. Like my work schedule worked out. I was able to get someone to take care of my dog, and like I was able to go. I just didn't have the money. Like I was still working very part-time, and I still had school, so I didn't get to raise enough money to go. And I got to the point I was desperate. I was like, oh, like it's already end of May, I think, or no, it was like end of June almost. And I was like, oh shoot, like I need money like now. So what I found was GoFundMe, and what's incredible about that platform is that you have this campaign that you create. You give a brief testimony of why it is, what it is that you're doing, and why you're going, and why do you need money, and how much you need. You just post it on this website, and people start seeing it. People start having conversations about it. And for me, I use that as my main sort of platform to raise awareness, and I linked it to my Facebook, so people on my friends on my Facebook can find this page and sort of have that conversation as well. The great thing about GoFundMe is that it's very easy to use. It's user friendly, and Josh and I explored the website a little bit, and they have a specific description for mission, faith, or like Christian fundraising and stuff like that. So there's different categories of why you're raising money, like help, aid, whatever it may be. There was a specific thing for mission, Christian, faith, community, and stuff. So like it's something that they're familiar with. So it's definitely out there and very easy to use. It's very user friendly. The only thing is I would encourage you to not use it as your main primary source, because for me, that's what I kind of depended on when I first started the GoFundMe page. But like so I created my GoFundMe, I put on my Facebook. For like 2 weeks, it was dead. It was like there was no conversations, there was nothing happening. So I was like, shoot, like this was a mistake. So I think I reached out to a couple of close friends. I'm like, hey, like share this on your Facebook, like share this and have this conversation. And it started to spread a little bit more, and it was a little bit more personal. And then I started getting like little $5 donations, like 5, 10, whatever it may be. And I was like, okay, like that's still something. I was still grateful about it. And then what was incredible was that people that people that were like friends of friends that I met like 1 or 2 times, they started donating too. And I was like, okay, like this is something, this is happening. And then all of a sudden it reached out to Alicia from White Dog. She also donated like $100. I was like, you're donating money for me to go see you. Like it was wild. So even with the GoFundMe page, I think I raised like $300, but that's still $300 to take the edge off of me personally. And that made it a lot easier. And that created these conversations, that created these stronger relationships that I had with people that I thought I lost. So it was a great platform, but it's not something I would use directly. Like use it as a last resort, and it really helps you. Yeah. No, that one does not. Yeah.
I don't think GoFundMe does, but it does take a cut. Yeah, I thought.
Which is why if you do use GoFundMe and you know that somebody's about to fund you, you can
in tracking e-transfer.
do e-transfers.
Okay. Yeah.
I started asking people for e-transfers because it was taking like 3% of your time.
Yeah, so if they can e-transfer it, then they can e-transfer. It's just a nice way to get the word out, right? Yeah. So we're gonna go into a time of like actually planning it out. Okay, so we're gonna be brainstorming this list. Okay, the reason why we have to brainstorm it is because it needs to be clear what you're gonna do. You have to make it clear now, or else like you're not gonna do it. So yeah, Rachel, please take us through this.
Okay, so we're gonna give you 15 minutes. Starting soon. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna start thinking about people that you can directly contact. Whether it's people that are physically here in Toronto and that they're easy to access, or whether it's through Facebook and people you're gonna contact across the world, or through Kakao, whatever it may be. Start thinking of people that you can directly contact, and that people that you know are reliable and share that same passion as you, and that you know will support you in going. And I think you have a list of, I think, 15 people? 30 spaces. Yeah. Come up with at least 15 people. We're going to challenge you to come up with at least 30, because even if 30 people donate however little that they can, that's a little easier for you. So we're going to give you some time now to start thinking of these people. And everyone has pens? Oh,
and there are extra booklets. Yes, Chris has them. If you need it, remember, basically, the more people you contact, the more money that you will probably raise, and the more people that you will have praying for you. So this is not just, again, about raising funds. It's about raising awareness as well. So the more people you contact, the more people who will know about the issues that Native people go through, right? So it's not just about like who can give me the most amount of money. Don't think about it that way. Okay, don't think about it in terms of bank account. Don't think about that at all, actually. Just think about, who do I want to talk to this about? Who do I want to tell about the situation that Native people are going through and the things that I want to do? That's all you're thinking about. Don't hold yourself back, okay? Don't hold yourself back. Everyone that you can come up with, write it down. Okay, write it down. And the money, don't even think about. Don't even think about that. Just think about the people. Just think about the people that you want to reach. The 15 minutes on the clock has just started now?
Sure.
Start? Yeah, okay, it's starting now. There's the timer. Please be writing. Yes, there is. So, write as many as you can. When the 15 minutes are finished, we're going to stop. By the way, as you're thinking about this, I want to say something about, let's say, okay, this is the usual bent of people who have the money already raised. Okay, you're thinking, oh, I have all my money raised. Maybe I'll do this in order to raise awareness for some people. But there are people in this room who really, really need that support. So if you can't raise the money, if you're not raising it for yourself, you're raising it for people who are less fortunate than you. So raise that money for the people who are less fortunate than you. And if if you've raised a lot of, if you've already raised a lot, keep on going to raise awareness and to raise prayer support, because we need that prayer support and we need to raise awareness for these issues. So, with that being said, just do your best. Everyone support raise, not just the people who are struggling financially, not just the people who really want a lot of prayer, but everyone should be support raising. Okay? I'm going to leave it to you. And for next year as well. It helps the mission. Okay? We're going to give you guys this time, and then we'll be back after the time is over.
Yeah. So earlier we mentioned adding your personal flair, make it personal and everything. But like realistically speaking, logistically speaking, if English isn't your first language, be comfortable writing it in Korean. Reach out to Korean communities, and what that also does is it encourages the Korean community to get involved as well. Take it back to its roots and reach out to the Korean community, and reach out to like your parents, or like if your parents own a business, reach out to their customers or whatever it may be. Start having those conversations with your parents. Start encouraging your parents. Start challenging your parents to have those conversations as well, to sort of get them involved, and so that they're also part of this mission as well, so that they're not just giving you money and sending you off. It's so that they understand that you're going through a spiritual walk as well, and that they understand your growth in this church, in this community. So it's really important. So my challenge for you guys, by next week, have your support letters ready. Show them to Josh or your group leader, whatever it may be. Like if you need some editing, send it to Josh. If you need some revising, send it to Josh, whatever it may be.
Okay.
Whatever it may be.
Okay.
No, I'm busy. Just like grammatically, send it to Josh. Have it ready and start sending it out, because it's already beginning of June. You have 1 month to start raising funds and have everything ready, and like you have a month before you go. So the sooner you start handing these out, the sooner you start earning your funds, the better, and the easier it'll be, and the amount of stress will be relieved off your shoulders. So it's really great. And also, if even your supplemental sources, start updating your Facebook, start hashtagging, start whatever it may be. Start having those conversations. Just be like, hey, like it's summer. I know you guys are almost done school. So like before you guys leave school for summer, start having those conversations. Have a way of keeping in touch with your classmates after school's done. For people that are working, start having those conversations. Continue having those conversations. Be like, hey, remember last year I had to go away for a week or whatever? It'd be great if you can show support in me going again this year, and like have that encouragement and have those conversations.
Like Rachel so kindly said, you can come to me for anything. You can come to me if you have any questions about any of this of this process. Please come to me. Don't handle it by yourself. I'm here to coach you through it. I've done this myself. I've raised like $10,000 doing it this way, and so it is possible, and I have experience in it, so I can help you out. This experience would not be finished, however, if you don't follow up. So this is for long term, after the mission. But your supporters are really generously giving their time if they're praying for you, and their own money if they're financially donating, right? So we will remind you guys after the missions, please follow up with your supporters with another letter, another message, another meetup with coffee, whatever. Tell them, thank you so much for taking the time to pray for me, taking the time to donate to me. And tell them, like face to face if you can, what you learned, what you've experienced. If you can meet up with them, meet up with them. If you're just going to send out a mass email, that's fine too. On the first page of your handouts, I've given you like a bit of what to do if you have like a prayer list if you've given out to them before you go, and then maybe a little bit of like same kind of thing afterwards. You can send out a mass email that looks like that. There's a lot of benefits to doing this, right?
So that list that you created on people that you can start reaching out to, keep those people in mind when you come back, because they're the ones supporting you. And it may be uncomfortable to have that conversation, but it's incredible sharing your testimony when you come back. It's really encouraging, and then they understand your passion. It's solidified for them even more, and then they sort of empathize with you, and they have that yearning to help even more in the coming years. There was a year that it was the year that I had the GoFundMe page, and like I just put it up, and one of my friends, she asked me about it, and she's like, "What is this about?" So we met up, we talked, and then we went on the mission. I came back, and I realized I didn't tell her about what happened. And like I felt bad. I'm like, wow, she supported me in going, but she didn't get to hear my story. And then we lost touch again because we had different work schedules and stuff. But I think last year we met up again. We rekindled our friendship, and then I remembered to thank her, and I was like, this is what happened that year you supported me, and then this is what happened last year. And I told her everything that we went through last year, and she was like, why would you, like, she looked at me, she's like, why would you go and do that? Like, why did you go through that? I'm like, it was incredible. It was unreal. It was wild, right? And then like, the more I talked about it, the more she got interested. And like, there was one point she did ask me, she's like, can non-Christians go? I'm like, why not? Like, go. Like, we have these trainings for a reason. It prepares you to go whether you're Christian or not. And it sort of sparks their curiosity of either wanting to go or wanting to support even more. And I did talk to her, and she won't be able to make it this year, unfortunately, but like she still has that desire. She still has that curiosity and that potential of wanting to go. So it's very important to follow up, and it's very important to have those conversations and thank them and share your testimony, because they're part of this mission too if they support you. So show them that appreciation, show them that they are included and that you're not just taking their money and leaving. So yeah. Again, it helps having those conversations, and it gets you out of your comfort zone as well. It's part of adulting.
Yeah, it's last thing is it also helps out with you processing your experience in mission. A lot of people come back and it's with something called PMS, post-mission syndrome. I know that means something else, but post-mission syndrome is a very real thing. You come back and you're like so high spiritually, and then you drop so low. And it's really, it doesn't need to be like that, but it happens to a lot of people. And the reason why it happens to a lot of people is because you don't process it. You don't take the time to process what you've learned in mission, and you just go right back to living exactly how you did before you started training and before everything. Don't let that be you. Take the time to process and to really think through mission. Following up with people is a very big part of that. Okay, so it's a very good way for you yourself to kind of like decelerate, right? Mission is a very fast-paced thing, so it helps you to decelerate. That's it for our support raising. If you have any questions, again, you can ask me or you can ask Rachel. Let's all give a round of applause. Rachel and I, we worked very hard for it. Thank you very much for listening. And that is it for our presentation. Okay. Thank you very much.